Hey guys, it is our favorite time of the week when we get to answer your questions and Rising Q's. Thanks for all of your submissions. We read them all, by the way.
I do.
We appreciate them all, so keep sending them in. First question. If Trump is removed from office, what would that mean for the Biden campaign, since he's basically running on a platform of Trump is bad, vote for me? This is from Emilio. What do you think, Saagar?
Well, Emilio is very right, which is part of the issue that the Biden campaign has. It's a one-legged stool, which is I am electable against Trump. Trump is bad. We need to go back to normalcy. Look, but Joe Biden tried to run against conventional Republicans. It didn't work.
Right.
Because who would be running against? Mike Pence.
Right.
That negates the entire urgency of his candidacy, and actually would just become an even more of a change election.
Well, not to mention Biden's fundamental analysis is just wrong.
Yeah.
You know, Trump, obviously, I can't stand him. I think he's a terrible president, but he's also not an aberration.
Right.
He didn't come out of nowhere. There were underlying trends that I think Biden has completely failed to grapple with, and really can't fail to grapple with, because he was part of architecting those trends that led to Donald Trump. That's the truth. Now, the reality is, do I think Trump is going to be removed from office? Not a chance. Not a chance. Right. Even if you actually had the transcript or Trump saying directly quid pro quo from the Ukrainian president, the Republicans aren't moving off of him. So got to beat him at the ballot box if you want to get him out of office, guys.
That's right. All right, second question we have from Slippery Slope. What do you think that Bernie has to do to begin start gaining in the polls again? It feels like the trend of the polls is showing Warren gaining, and it's in the lead, Biden dropping to second and Bernie dropping to third. Krystal, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing in the polls is definitely a Warren rise and a Biden fall. I think Bernie's remained fairly steady, but the fundamental dynamic they're talking about here is real.
Yeah.
I think he's got to draw a contrast. I mean, he's good in a fight. When he gets scrappy with reporters and whatever, I love that, Bernie.
And with Hillary, you remember that?
Remember his moment with at the Fox News town hall when he did that, and he was so strong and went in the lion's den and was great. I think he really has to be explicit about why not Biden and why not Warren, why it should uniquely be him if he wants to move up in the polls. You've got to make it a choice. And I know it's not his style and he's uncomfortable doing. He really genuinely likes Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden, I think. But this is a contest, and the results matter. It matters to people's lives who ends up getting this primary and who is best suited to take on Trump. So I think he's got to be a little tougher and draw this contrast.
I would say both. He needs to do that. You're absolutely right. But also the real thing is that what Bernie needs to hope and pray is that Biden continues to fall, because Biden actually hasn't fallen by that much. Kamala's drop and Pete Buttigieg's drop is what explains Warren's rise. Just getting up all of those voters who are going from them to her. Now, the second choice vote for Biden supporters is Bernie Sanders. So the more a Biden would continue to fall, you would 100% begin to see an increase in the amount of Bernie. So if I was Bernie, start attacking Joe Biden. You may not even want to draw a contrast with Elizabeth Warren. Biden, he needs to take a strong stance on the Hunter issue. He needs to take a strong stance on Medicare for all. Next time Biden calls him a socialist, he needs to step up his game.
The Hunter issue is actually a real opening. Yeah. Because we played the clip in the show this week. Warren was really pretty lame on it. She got asked, if you were president, does your corruption plan, which she released a very elaborate, extensive plan, she's got a plan for that, right? Would it make it illegal for the son of a vice president to sit on the board of a Ukrainian energy company?
No.
She said, first she said, I don't know, I have to check. And it was very, uncomfortable moment for her, which is unusual. And then her campaign came back and said, no, it's not, wouldn't be illegal.
Why is it difficult to be like, no, never, not in a million years?
Right, or just say, listen, if our plan doesn't cover that, it will, because this is unacceptable. Next question. Boom. I mean, you don't have to, why are you trying to save Joe Biden?
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's a bad look, and we look like hypocrites. The same thing with money in politics. We look like hypocrites when we say we hate the money in politics, and then we go and do the big fundraisers. We look like hypocrites when we say Trump is corrupt, and then our kids or us or whoever is cashing in on their public service. It may not be illegal, but it probably should be.
Yeah.
Saagar, we got a specific question for you from Paul Weiner. He says, if you could choose a Republican to challenge President Trump in a primary or as his successor in 2024, who would you choose, Saagar?
Well, I'll dodge the primary one because I don't think he should be primaried. But for 2024, let's see. I think I've laid out my options here before, which is I think Josh Hawley right now is the best case for what intellectual Trumpism looks like. Skeptical of power, skeptical of money, skeptical of Wall Street, differing on trade orthodoxy, not as much of a neocon or has neocon tendencies as a Tom Cotton, who might be the other natural successor, so to speak. And to me, he seems like the one current person in the Senate or within the GOP, really, who could take up that air and run on the national stage. So that's my answer.
Have you seen people floating Tucker Carlson 2024?
Oh, I would. I mean, if that happens, I'm all in.
Our
which
whole
I know
audience
you'll all hate.
now hates
you're all
you.
cringing. And
Sorry.
You all hate me. But that's okay. I would vote for Tucker in a second, but I know him. He used to be my boss, and he would never do it, which just makes me sad because I think he'd be a great president.
Yeah, we're just going to leave it there. I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
See you next week.